Also, hope that you are having a good day so far. So, today we will be doing our grade 4 English lesson on subject verb agreement. We'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on subject verb agreement. And before we start with the lesson on subject verb agreement, we are going to log into a+students.ca. Once you've logged into a+students.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts. So English language arts. So after selecting English language art, we're going to select grade 4, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of subject verb agreement. All right, so we now in the chapter of subject verb agreement. And our chapter is subject verb agreement. The subject is English language arts, grade 4. And our lessons that we are focusing on today is the subject singular or plural? Use the correct subject or verb and pronoun verb agreement. All right. So that is our that is going to be our focus lessons for today under the chapter of subject verb agreement. And we are doing our lessons on a+students.ca. So we're doing our lesson on a+students.ca. So if you do want to go back, recap, and go over certain things, then you can go to a+students.ca, and that is where you will be able to find, or you'll be able to do or go over the chapter, subject, grade, as well as lessons. All right, so now we're about to start our all right. So remember we said that with subject verb agreement, right? We have singular subject and we have plural subjects, right? So a singular subject, right? A subject refers to, it's like where we are naming someone. So it is a name of only one person, one animal, one place, or one thing. So that is a singular subject. So a singular subject is where we name only one person, one animal, one place, or one thing. That is singular. Singular means one. And when a subject is singular, we use a singular verb. So when the subject is singular, we also use a singular verb. And singular verbs, they end either in s, es, or ies. Example, Sarah visits her grandmother. Sarah, meaning one person, visits her grandma. So it's visits with an S. My cat, referring to only one cat, right? Washes her paws. So my cat washes her paws. And there we have washes. And that is a singular subject with a singular verb. And then we also have a plural subject, right? And plural subjects refers to it names more than one person, animal, place, or thing. So plural subjects, it names more than one person, animal, place, or thing. And when a subject is plural, then we use a plural verb. And plural verbs, it usually do not end in s, es, or ies. It does not end in es, s, or ies. For example, Kyle and Jesse walk home. So we don't say Kyle and Jesse walks home. And the flowers grow in the garden. Grow, not grows in the garden. All right. And remember, we say singular, it refers to one. Either it is one person, one place, one animal, or one thing. And we said that plural, it refers to more than one person, animal, place, or thing. And we said when a subject is singular, we use a singular verb. And the singular verbs, they end either in s or es or ies. And then with plural, when a subject ends in plural, we usually use the plural verb, which means that it does not have to necessarily end in s, es, or ies. Or our verb usually do not end in s, es, or ies. All right, now we're going to do an activity. You need to look at the subject in bold. Then you need to say if the subject is, if it's singular or if it's plural. Remember, singular refers to one person, one animal, place, or thing, and plural refers to more than one person, animal, place, or thing. All right. So now it says, those shallow rivers flood after heavy rains. Those shallow rivers flood after heavy rains. So if we look at this word, those shallow rivers, is that singular or is that plural? Singular or plural? So those shallow rivers, they flood after heavy rains. So those shallow rivers, is it singular or is it plural? So if they say those shallow rivers, right? And then it means that it is plural. This is plural, right? Because it is saying rivers, those shallow rivers. Flood. And flood, the word flood has a plural verb where we don't add ses or ies. And plural is correct. It is a plural. Shallow rivers, referring to more than one. All right. A hen hatches her eggs by sitting on them. A hen is the word in bold. So a hen, it hatches her eggs by sitting on them. Is that singular or is that plural? Is it singular or plural? So a hen, is a hen singular or is a hen plural? All right, so we can say a hen is singular. It refers to only one. And it also has a singular verb, which is hatches. Right? It has a singular verb, which is hatches. So well done. All right. Spiders, they capture flies and other insects in their webs. So spiders, they capture flies and other insects in their webs. Is spiders singular or is spiders plural? So spiders, is spiders singular or is spiders plural? Spiders capture flies and other insects in their webs. Is spiders singular or plural? All right, so if we look at spiders, then we can say it is plural because it refers to more than one spider. And we say capture because it is plural with a plural verb where we do not add, for example, ses or ies. All right. All right, so we're going to our test, right? Here it says you need to look at the subject. Oopsie. You need to look at the subject in bold and say whether it is singular or plural. The chest. So, the chest. Do we say the chest is singular or plural? All right, so we can then choose option one. Yes, the chest is singular. So, well done. Well done. The puppies tug on their mom's tails. The puppies tug on their mother's tails. Is puppies singular or is puppies plural? Puppies. All right, so if this is puppies, right? Tug on their mother's tail, then we can say it is plural only. All right. Jets streak across the sky. Jets streak across the sky. Is the word jets singular or plural? Jets streak across the sky. Is it singular or plural? Jets. So jets referring, yes, it refers to more than one, which means that it is plural. So well done. And then we say Greg owes. Greg owes Mrs. Alexander an explanation for the late homework. Is it option one, which is singular, or option two, which is plural? Greg owes Mrs. Alexander an explanation for the late homework. All right, so we can say it is singular or he is singular. Him referring only to one person, Greg only. All right. So we went into the lesson of is the subject of verb singular or plural. Now we're going to see select or use the correct subject or verb. So the subject and the verb, right? In every sentence, it needs to agree with one another, right? So the subject and the verb in a sentence, it must agree. And the singular subject, right? We said it names only one person, animal, place, or thing. And when a subject is singular, we use a singular verb. When we use a singular verb, and then we also use a singular verb which ends in s, es, and ies. So we made an example of Sarah visits her grandma, And my cat washes her paws. And then we also say plural subjects, right? It names more than one animal, places, or things. And when a subject is plural, we use a plural verb. And remember, when it comes to plural subjects, right? Yes, it names more than one person, animal, place, or thing, right? And when the subject is plural, we use a plural verb, but our verb does not end in s, es, or ies. All right, so now we're going on to the activity. That ribbon, that ribbon, do we say it match or it matches your dress perfectly? So does it match or matches? We need to choose one of these two. Oopsie. So match or matches. Because remember, we said a singular subject as a singular verb. We either add ses or ies. All right, so we can then say that ribbon matches your dress perfectly. So matches, not match. My aunts, the vegetables from the garden. My aunt, the vegetables from the garden. Do we say my aunt freeze the vegetables from the garden or freezes? So freezes or freeze. So we must say my aunt, does she freeze the vegetables from the garden or she freezes the vegetables from the garden? She freeze or freezes. So we need to complete the sentence with the rest, with the great verb. All right, so we basically say freeze. So my aunts, they freeze the vegetables from the garden. So freeze. All right. Now, it also says complete the sentence with the best verb. Stars. Do they glitters or glitter? We need to choose one of those two. Does glitter or glitters? So stars, do we say that it glitters or glitter in the night sky? Stars. So stars, do we say glitter or glitters? All right, so we basically say stars, they glitter in the night sky. All right, now let's go to our test. Because we said that the stars, the sky, they glitter in the night sky. My aunt, do we say my aunt freezes the vegetables from the garden or my aunt frees the vegetables from the garden? So freeze, my aunts, do we say my aunts, she freezes, sorry, or freeze the vegetables from the garden? All right, so we'll choose option two. So option two, which says that my aunts freeze the vegetables from the garden. So well done. Mm. Egg lunch across, eat lunch, sorry, across the street. Do we say those doctors eat lunch across the street or Dr. Benson eat lunch across the street? So those doctors eat lunch across the street or Dr. Benson? So do we say those doctors eat lunch across the street or Dr. Benson eat lunch across the street? All right, so let's choose one. Let's say those doctors. So that is correct. Mr. and Mrs. Mason. Do we say they frames or frame a picture of William and Stacy? Mr. and Mrs. Mason. So my Mr. and Mrs. Mason, do we say frames the picture of William and Stacy? Or do we say frame? So frames the picture or frame the picture? All right, so now we can rather say frame the picture of William and Kate. And frame is correct. So we will say my sister. Do we say interrupts my telephone calls with my friends, or my sister interrupt my telephone calls with my best friends, with my friends. So do we say interrupts or interrupt? So my sister interrupts or my sister interrupt my telephone calls with my friends. All right, let's say interrupts. Interrupts is correct. Glit complete the sentence. Glitter in the night sky. Is it the stars or the planets that glitter in the night sky? So we can say stars, they glitter in the night sky. Well done. All right. Now we are going on to pronoun verb agreement. Pronoun verb agreement. And once again, we said that a subject and a verb in sentences must agree. And we have a singular subject with names one person, animal, place, or thing, and a singular. And when a subject is singular, we use a singular verb, right? And the verb usually ends in s, es, v, um, s, es, or ies. And then we also say that the subject pronouns, it names more than one person or thing. So they are plural. And the pronoun you can also be plural. So with a subject pronoun, right, as much as it's a singular subject, but we by subject pronoun, sorry. Then we have with the singular one, we say the subject pronoun is watch, is she, he, and it. So the subject pronoun is she, he, or it. All right. And then we see that the subject pronoun we and they, which refers to plural, names more than one person or thing. All right, so now we need to complete the sentence with the base verb. She what an army officer. Do we say she marry or marries? Do we say she marry or marries? She an officer. So she an officer. So we can say she marries. So marries. And that is the answer that goes over there. Then we need to complete the sentence with the best subject pronoun. Represents all the scientists here. All the scientists. So if we are not here, right? We also say that a subject pronoun, right? Like he is singular and they are plural, right? And so it should be used with a singular verb. And remember, a plural refers to or should be used with a plural verb. So what represents all scientists here? What represents all the scientists here? Let's check something. So basically, we can say he represents all the scientists here. So he represents all the scientists here. All right. Giggles at silly jokes. Giggles at silly jokes. Who giggles at silly jokes? So we need to say who giggles at silly jokes. Is it she? Is it her? Is it he? Is it him? He. We say he giggles at silly jokes. He referring to one. So he giggles at silly jokes. All right. Let's go to our test. We need to complete the sentence with the base verb. Right? So do we say we locate Wendy's lost mitten, or we locates Wendy's lost mitten? Remember, if it's a singular subject, right? Only referring to one person, whether it is one person in a plural form or in a noun form. So whether you are mentioning the person's name, which is a noun, or you are saying he, she, them, it's, which is the pronoun, right? When we use the word singular, right, we have a singular verb also. So if it's locate now, which is singular, then you need to be outside with. Then we say it is locate. For example, if it's singular, then we say we add or let's say our verb, it ends with an S, ES, or IES. But if it's plural, right, if your subject is plural, and then your verb will basically only end with, it won't have, we don't have to add an S, ES, or IES, right? So do we say we locate or we locates Wendy's lost mitten? We locate or we locates Wendy's lost mitten. All right, so we can say we locate Wendy's lost mitten. All right. Then washes away the specks of dirt. Do we say they washes away the specks of dust or it washes away the specks of dirt? They or it. So we can say it washes away the specks of dirt. Now we say they toast the bread outdoors over the campfire or they toasts the bread outdoor over the campfire. Which one will we use? They toast the bread or they toasts the bread? So they toast or they toasts the bread outside, outdoors over the campfire. Remember we said a singular verb has a singular subject has a singular verb. A plural subject has a plural verb. All right, so we can say they toast the bread outdoor over the campfire. Toast. We cook the meat evenly, or it cooks the meat evenly. Do we say it cooks the meat evenly, or we cooks the meat evenly? We cook or it cooks the meat evenly. All right, so we can say it cooks the meat evenly. No, remember if we say we, then it means that we cook the meat evenly, right? It's a subject, it's a plural subject. So we cook the meal evenly. But now we can say it cooks the meat evenly. All right, so it's. Do we say they discover a new kind of bamboo or they discovers a new kind of bamboo? All right, so we can say they discover a new kid of bamboo. So well done. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on subject verb agreement. Remember, we said that with subject verb agreement, we identified the subject that was singular as well as plural, right? And we said that if a subject is singular, and then our verb needs to be singular too, where we add either s, es, or ies. And if the verb, if it's plural, right? It's plural, then our verb also has to have a plural noun, where we don't usually add s, es, or ies. All right, so grade 4, this is the end of our lesson on subject verb agreement. You should have a good evening further. Goodbye.